In the younger days when you were playing tournaments, how did you deal with failure? How did you deal with losing a tournament? Like, what was your experience like as a younger, small girl who's
Yeah.
playing badminton?
So when I was like really young and I started tournaments, I couldn't handle failure. I
Yeah.
thought, oh shit, what have I done in my life?
Yeah.
I'm a loser, I'm waste, I'm this and that. And I would start crying.
How young were you?
10 years
10.
I started playing tournaments.
Yeah.
So 9-10 years I started playing state tournaments. I started
Okay.
playing.
Okay.
So I would go and then I would start crying in the middle of the match and people would think what has gone wrong with this girl.
Oh my
I'm
God.
like I'm crying and I'm playing. And
That's
my
so
mother
sad.
would and my mother would say, listen, it's fine to lose, but don't do this crying drama. And she would say, why are you doing all this? I said, I'm not doing any drama, but I'm
Just,
feeling bad. It's
just tears are
automatically
dropping
coming.
down.
Just tears are dropping down. And one time it so happened that I'm crying and I like ended up winning the match.
Oh God.
And my opponent started crying because she was in a winning position and she lost the match.
Oh my God.
So it was. So sometimes it's funny. This was one of the funny incidents. But yeah, I think once you start understanding what failure means, you get used to that feeling of losing multiple times. Then your approach to failure changes.
But as a young kid, it's so hard to deal with failure, right?
yeah.
Like, I mean, if you're not able to control and tears are coming out, that means genuinely like your muscle, your heart, your brain
Yeah,
is
it
not
meant
able
so
to,
much to me also. Right?
Yeah. I mean, like it's not able to deal with the failure or how to understand it. It takes a
Yes.
little bit of age and maturity to get to that.
Yes. So I took time. I took like good 2 years to get out of that.
Yeah, or 12 when you were
Yeah,
12.
when I was 12,
Yes,
when I
that's
was
still,
12.
you learned a very big lesson
Yes,
very early on. I think
yes.
that's what sport does.
Yeah, it eventually teaches you.
Yeah.
It eventually teaches you and eventually prepares you for, the journey ahead is what I feel.
Yeah. And when you're training, what was like, were there like incidents where you didn't want to train? How did your parents push you? Did you not like it? Because I'm sure, for anybody in sport, every day getting up, doing the same thing and keeping the same intensity, it's
Yeah.
not easy. And parents also have to push.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
did you have any interesting moments there?
Yes, so see, when you're a kid, you don't know what you're doing in life, right?
Yeah.
Mom said, do badminton,
Yeah.
I did badminton.
Right.
Mom said, do swimming. You're
Right.
so young, you're dumb, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You just want to go run around and play.
Right. True.
Right? That's what you want to do. But my parents, I think, realized that this girl has potential because as a kid, I was extremely naughty. I was hyper at home.
Okay.
I was not someone who would play with dolls and all. I remember
Right.
I have an older brother and we would watch WWE and we would fight and
Right.
he'd pin me down and do all of that.
Right.
And whenever I would lose, I'd go and, put some water or coke on his head or just go and break his toy. So it was started like that.
Okay.
So I had so much energy that, my parents felt that if channelized in the right way,
Nice.
she can do something good.
Yeah.
So early on, training I hated it. I hated waking up in the morning. I hated, and I used to have karate on like thrice a week. And on the other remaining days in the morning, I was just sleeping. So my mother and my parents decided, my dad used to go jogging. So my parents decided, you take her also. So then we started like a 5-kilometer run.
Okay.
There was a route from my house and you'd
Yeah.
run back.
Okay.
And I was a kid, I hated running. Who will get up at 5 o'clock and go running
True.
and do those
Nobody
things?
likes that.
Nobody likes that. And,
Yeah.
and I started coming up with excuses.
Okay.
And I was so smart. I mean, hats off to me back then. The excuse that I gave that my dad couldn't say no. Because I
Okay.
said, Papa, bathroom is coming. What do I do? I need to poop.
Yeah.
I can't. And I would cut short. So
Yeah.
he would get irritated. He was like, okay, now what can I do in the middle of the road? She's saying potty pressure.
Yeah.
So he would say, okay, you go back home. And then he would go ahead, finish his run. And
Yeah.
I am walking back. Aram se.
I think parents have a huge responsibility because they have to see your talent,
Yes.
identify it, channelize it, support it,
Yes.
nurture it, and then hope that you will somewhere
Yes.
come to understand your own potential.
Correct. And there is a phase also, I feel.
Yeah.
A lot of parents should do it. At least it's worked for me. Is
Yeah.
that when the kid is 9 to 12, 13, you're dumb.
Yeah.
You don't know anything.
True.
All you want to do is sit, eat,
Yeah.
watch TV or
Whatever is
play.
easy, yeah.
At that time, if they be little, not very extremely hard or harsh on them, but
Yeah.
if they push them little
Yeah, yeah.
and channelize that energy or their interests in the right direction.
True.
And I think after 13, 14 onwards, the kid I myself was passionate.
Your motivation
Yeah,
started
my
then?
motivation started, and a lot of things also with that because
Yeah.
the exposure I got. So when I was about 12, 13, I started playing tournaments outside Bangalore. There were the national ranking tournaments that I started playing. I was seeing athletes of my age, girls of my age, putting in so much effort. And those things, makes you realize,
Yeah.
oh, if they can do it, why can't I do it?
True.
And at the same time, Rahul Dravid is my role model, and
Yeah.
I was reading his book for 13, 14 years, and that also made me realize, the kind of struggles he went, the push he gave, and at what age he started, giving it all in his sessions.
Yeah.
So all these experiences sort of made me realize, I can do something with my career, right?
But you were put in the zone, right? Like you were put in that zone by your
Yes.
parents, and you were
Yes.
like you read a book on
Yes.
from Rahul Dravid about
Yeah.
how he got into his
Yeah.
how he improved himself or how he
Yeah.
got in better in his sport. But if you don't, how do you get into that zone? Like you're in the zone. I don't think so. You were like doing anything else. You were just in that zone.
I was
right?
in that zone, and I was in that zone because of my mother.
Yeah.
If she would have not put me in that zone, I would have just gone to school.
Do you feel like, maybe
done
I
the
should have
usual
had
stuff.
a much more normal life? Like, doing all things, just maybe not
Definitely.
so disciplined, but like, whatever kids do, it's not anything in particular, but it's an easy life.
It's an easy life, yeah.
Would you have liked that as a person that you are?
Now, at that time, yes, I was like literally petrified of my mother saying, why is she making me do all of this?
Yeah.
But in hindsight now, like 15 years
Yeah.
since then,
Yeah.
no regrets.
I think we all come to appreciate how
Yes.
tough our parents were at that age, right?
Exactly. Because I think who I am now is because of the experiences I got and the exposure I got at a very early age.
And I think it's important to have role models because I feel like
Yeah.
there's a lack of that in the society today. Like you don't get to, like, how do you derive inspiration or look at someone and say, yeah, I want to do something like that? Like how there's just so much noise. Do you feel
Yeah.
like there was a huge impact on you?
It's very important
Yeah.
to have role models. And I had not one, like I had 2, 3. One is, of course, Rahul Dravid, like I said.
Yeah.
Anytime I felt I needed some external motivation, I would read his books or
Yeah.
go through his interviews and all of that.
Yeah.
But I had role models at home itself, like my mom. For me to attend a 5 a.m. session,
Yeah.
I had to be woken up because I was 13,
Yeah.
14 years old. So
Yeah.
someone had to wake me up at 4:30.
True.
And someone had to pack my tiffin, someone had to make my kit ready or whatever, the usual things. So she had to wake up at 4.
Yeah.
And seeing her do it, I mean, why does she have to do all of this, right?
True.
Of course, she was a homemaker back in the day.
Yeah.
But she also has a life, right? Just because you're a homemaker doesn't mean that just taking care of your kids and, taking your kids from here to there, XYZ points is what you have to do.
Yeah.
But she did that.
You came to appreciate that so young.
No.
Now?
Now.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
of course, I sort of realized that when I became older, when I became 16, 17, when I was becoming a teenager, that's when I realized that my mother has really slogged so much to sort
Yeah.
of help me reach this level, right?
Yeah.
So I think role models within the family, how parents, I think kids, you learn, you pick up things from your parents,
Yeah.
or from people you're living with, right?
Yeah. And then through these failures and losing tournaments, when did you decide that I must win, I must reach the top? What was that? Was there like a turning point or something that switched in your head?
Yeah, so once you start losing, then you'll be like, "Arey yaar, what is this?"
Yeah.
I mean, you have the same body, you have the same opportunities, training, everything is the same. You have to put in that effort because the platform is given. It's now time for you to put in that effort.
And how was it the first time when you won? When you won, when you were under 13?
Under 13, I won, was the first tournament I won in Hyderabad. And
Yeah.
it was after a long time I won because I kept losing in the semi or the final. I would always end up losing in the semi or final. And finally, I won a ranking tournament in Hyderabad when I was about 12 years old. That feeling was amazing. Because finally, to see your efforts that you've put in to come into fruition is like, it's amazing. So,
Wow.